it's being reported that Carmelo Anthony maybe would actually consider waiving that no trade clause in his contract, saying, and I quote, "I have the power, but still, I would talk to the front office execs. We would be in communication if they feel like they want to go in a different direction. They want to start rebuilding for the future. They tell me they want to scrap this whole thing. Yeah, I have to consider it." Now, he made a point to say he's still very happy in his hometown, his now adopted hometown in New York City. Dylan, what do you make of this as a Knicks guy? Is this something you'd like to see?
Absolutely. I don't see this. They're 19-25 right now, Dave. Even with the influx of the washed-up Bulls of Derrick Rose and Joakim Noah, the growth of Kristaps Porzingis, this year we were supposed to see some baby steps towards a growth of a team that was not ever going to contend for a championship. But as a fan, as a Knicks fan, I wanted to see play closer to 500, compete a little bit more. They're not doing that. I'm not the biggest Carmelo Anthony fan. I think at this point in his career, he's 32 years old. And I don't think he's going to be the leader that can put the Knicks on his back and they can build around. I think they have to move on from Carmelo. I think Carmelo has to move on from the Knicks. And I think Carmelo has to accept, and this is the first step of accepting that the best thing for him right now is maybe to be a second or a third fiddle and to go to another team where there is more talent around him, where he doesn't have to be asked to go drop 25, 30 a night, play defense that he just doesn't play and hasn't played throughout his career. I think it's time. Obviously, this whole thing is fractured as well with Phil Jackson calling him out. I don't know that Phil should be there anymore. I think the whole thing should get blown up. There's a couple good pieces there, mainly Kristaps Porzingis. I don't think the Knicks should re-sign Derrick Rose. I don't think they should look to build around Carmelo Anthony. And I think they should wave bye-bye to Phil Jackson. I think the whole thing needs to get blown up. I wish they could throw Dolan out.
You can't do that.
But that's on his call.
As a Knicks fan, but maybe not the biggest Carmelo fan, are you not at least impressed that it sounds like a mature Carmelo Anthony saying these things? Because he doesn't have to do this, Dylan. He can hold the Knicks' feet right to
That's
the flames.
what a no-trade clause does.
Right?
And I am impressed. I think it takes a lot. I can't imagine. I mean, this is a guy who... on
He
top
loves
of the
it there.
He does. He loves it there. And in his mind, he was going to come to New York and bring back Knicks basketball.
That's what it was supposed to be.
To the utmost of prominence. It just didn't happen. And I know it takes a lot to come with your hat in your hand and say, hey, this thing isn't working. And I know it was supposed to build around me. Right. You brought up a very interesting point. I know it's within conference, but what about the Washington Wizards? You said hometown. What if he really does go back to near the hometown of Baltimore, go to the Washington Wizards, where they could use a guy
right now,
a 3 or a small 4. You know they got the house of guards there. Wall's playing tremendous. The Wizards are playing tremendous. I know they don't exactly want to break things up there, but if they can make the right move, a draft pick and the right piece to bring in Carmelo, maybe they could take that next leap and he could get a little closer to home for the back end of his career.
And the point is, there are destinations for this guy. It's not like, oh, he's going to retire. There's nobody wants him.
He's only 32.
There are places that would want Carmelo Anthony right now to try to put them over the top. So there could be some bidders out there for Carmelo's service.